All right, guys, it is Saturday, which means it is once again leg day. I split up my leg days between 2 days, one being a quad day and one being a hamstring day. So today it is my hamstring day. One thing I will say is that it had been 8 weeks since I trained legs, and it will have been, I believe, 10 to 12 weeks since I've trained hamstrings in general. And that's because originally I thought I had a hamstring strain and I wanted to make sure it didn't turn into a tear. So originally I stopped training hamstrings just to let it recover, heal, and whatnot. I should have known that the fact that I was able to train through it um, for a 14-week prep, because it didn't start at the start of it. I think it started kind of midway through. I should have known it wasn't a strain because I was able to move weight, I was able to push, and nothing happened. Uh, I didn't tear my hamstring, thankfully. So now in hindsight, looking back, I should have put the pieces together and realized that yeah, it's a uh, sciatica issue. So I haven't trained hamstrings in about 10 weeks or more, possibly. I kind of stopped around a little before Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely going to be an interesting workout today. Not going to go too hard, not too heavy. Probably only going to do about 3 exercises total before we call it for the day, just because we want to get some blood in the muscles. We want to get it working, but we don't want to overdo it. Thankfully I was able to walk. I'm not too sore, surprisingly. I think that has more to do with the fact that I didn't go too hard and too heavy, and I focused on just getting some blood in the muscles, contracting the muscle. That's why I was able to walk and be able to do stuff and whatnot. So it's time to hit the gym. So goals this year for the legs, guys. This year my goal is to bring out some really good striations, really good details. My legs are probably the one place that hold fat the most and the longest. So my legs don't lean out until about 3 to 4 weeks before a show, believe it or not. I mean, I have cuts here and there, but for the majority of it, the real deep striations and crevices don't come out for me up until the week of the show. And that's only really been recently after I turned 25 also. Before that, my legs were very smooth. They had the size, but they were very smooth. So um, the goal now is to bring out the detail in them. And so to do that, I'm going to have to be a little more slow and concentrated on my reps, focusing, still utilizing heavy weight with high reps, but making sure that I'm really contracting and controlling the negatives. I think that's one of the biggest things that people forget about is controlling that negative. That's probably harder than the positive of the exercise. A lot of people think, oh, the most important part of an exercise is when you bring the weight up or when you push the weight up, when in fact it's actually the opposite when you're trying to keep it from going down in a controlled way. Anybody can just drop the weight, have gravity drop the weight for them, because gravity is pulling it towards the ground already. The key that negatives bring is that you're fighting gravity now and not just the weight that you're trying to lift. And so it's kind of like that two-factor type of thing that kind of gives you the ability to really focus in and grow better muscles, because on the positive, you're just utilizing let's say you're doing a 50-pound dumbbell, you're just curling a 50-pound dumbbell. On the way down, not only are you trying to control 50 pounds, but you're also trying to control the force of gravity pulling that 50 pounds down to the ground. So that being said, guys, we're pulling up to the gym. Let's get this workout done. All right, guys. So we're going to be starting off this hamstring day with some seated leg curls. Um, this is one of the best exercises to start off with on your hamstring day because you are locked in here. There is no cheating. It's not like a line leg curl where you can throw that weight up and stuff. Here you're locked in. So it's a really good exercise to warm up with and really key in and focus on those hamstrings to get this workout started. Another key thing to remember when you're doing hamstring curls, let me get under this, is when you curl, you want to keep your toes up. That's going to help key and isolate the hamstrings and take away any calf movement. Because if you have your feet kind of just dangling like this, your calf muscles are going to come in and help you pull the weight down. So what you want to do is point your toes up, and you'll see you'll get a lot more hamstring flexion when you do that. So I usually like to do 6 to 7 sets just to warm up. Well, it's about 4 sets of warm up, 3 working sets, and that's just a good way to just really warm up the hamstrings and get them ready for a good lift. So let's key in a good weight. Now, for these kinds of exercises, leg extensions, leg curls, I like to do reps of 20. 2, 3. Making sure to get a good range of motion, get a good stretch, get a good squeeze and contraction at the bottom. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, guys, so next up on the agenda for hamstring day is single leg standing leg curl. Now, this is a unilateral exercise slash machine, which means you are only using one leg, whereas the seated leg curl machine is a bilateral machine, meaning you use both legs to move the weight, both legs to use the machine and do the exercise properly. So both of them have their pros. Now, the con to bilateral is that you won't really feel the imbalances that you have because both legs are working in conjunction to move the muscles, or I'm sorry, to move the weights. Whereas the con to unilateral training is that you can't necessarily push uh, excessively heavy. You know what I mean? You would have to do bilateral to push heavier and stuff like that. So with this, we're going to key in and focus, and you will definitely learn which one of your hamstrings is weaker and which one of your hamstrings is stronger. So let's go ahead and get a good weight. So on this one, we're going to do 4 sets of 20. All right, so that was my right leg. Now we're going to go with our left leg, which for me personally is going to be tough, not only because normally your left side is your weaker, but I'm dealing with that sciatic nerve running, and I think it's pinched in between my 2 hamstring muscles right here because that's where the pain's at. So let's see how this goes. Thankfully not too bad. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right. I felt good. I felt good. Six. Definitely sorry for my sciatic on that one.
Are we making content? What's up?
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep. Trying to get to yours, man.
I did a lot of Muay Thai, bro. So
That's what I need. Yeah.